Hey guys, so we had the Legends Fest Part 1 reveals, of course talking about the Synchro Gauge Super Gogeta and LF Super Janemba. I am here with Rye. Hello. We just did a Part 1 to this on his channel, taking a look at some of the comments he got on his community reaction post. I gave some of my input. So now we're going to do the reverse, where we go through some of my comments, which I'm sure are going to have a much higher IQ on average. And we'll both give our input on these. So, actually, this is the wrong post. This is, I just realized this is not the right one. Oops. Let's go here, and let's actually pull up the right post. Here we go.
There's a comment. There's a comment there. I don't know.
Comment below with your reaction to the reveals of Synchro Gauge, Super Gogeta, and LF Super Janemba. Janemba is cool. Gotenks is fine. Yay, another Gogeta. Woo yippee. Well, I guess that could be something that you say, but the last Gogeta was, what, a year and a half ago? Super Saiyan 4? That was the last Gogeta, right?
It's been a while.
Yeah. A year and a half typically is like the time where they can kind of just start doing the like redos of the same character again, especially when you're talking about like big ticket fusion characters. So I think it's fine. I really have no issues with how they handled Gogeta. Yeah, you can go now.
If he said Z Gogeta, I would understand. Like, I know back when we got the Synchro Gauge mechanic, everybody wanted this Gogeta specifically, but how many times are we going to go back to the Fusion Reborn movie? You know what I mean? If his sentiment was, it would have been nice if we saw, like, maybe a standalone Super Saiyan Gogeta or some new mechanic or something. Like, I get where Zahal's coming from. I think in his mind, it's like, okay, it's cool that the Synchro Gauge is back, but is that enough weight? You know what I mean? Like, I can understand where he's coming from. It's the same character pick we've seen before, a mechanic that has already existed before. Is it, you know, like, whoop-de-doo? I can sort of understand where he's coming from.
The second they introduced the Synchro Gauge mechanic, we all knew this was happening at some point. And who's the last two big fusions to get this? We don't have one for Vegito Blue, which is definitely going to happen at some point. And we don't have one for Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, which is also going to happen at some point. So guess what? We're getting those soon. I would imagine.
How could you forget Gotenks? What about Gotenks?
Yeah, Gotenks.
Synchro Gauge Gotenks.
It'll be like a February LF or something.
Yeah.
I've waited too long. We will be summoning. Yeah, people are excited. I mean, this is like a big ticket character, like the Synchro Gauge finally coming back after a year and a half. There's a reason why they made the Synchro Gauge, right? It's because people like their fusions, and this is another way to introduce the characters to the game, right? Why does the ultra rarity exist? Because they can now resell us the same characters in a different format. Why are eventual Ultra Legends Limiteds going to exist? Because they can sell us the ultras that we've already gotten in a different format. That's why they do these. So they could sell these characters to us in multiple ways that are new and different, right? Because we don't have a Synchro Gauge Super Gogeta, so that's why this exists.
They're gonna have to get creative at some point. Like, dude, they've shown us the same two kicks with the Soul Punisher like 90 different ways. Eventually, they gotta get creative.
Yeah. All right, Jordan, what do we got? This is almost as enticing as Beaver Bother. What an absolute great pick for Legends. Janemba is finally getting some respect in the game. I mean, bruh, Ultra Janemba was crazy. I'm concerned the meta might be too toxic, but everyone will complain about that regardless. Better than being underwhelming, I guess. This takes me back to the days of Dark Souls 2. All right, bye.
I was like, is this ChatGPT? And then I saw Dark Souls.
Yeah, we don't talk about that game on this channel. Extremely happy with the actual picks, regen, LOE, future main, but no new mechanics is a bummer. Yeah, again, I mentioned this on Rye's part, but for Gogeta in particular, I don't really have a major issue with him not introducing any new mechanic. It really is Janemba who should have had something new. I personally don't feel that Janemba is kind of in the discussion of being a worthy Part 1 pick for a major celebration like this. But if they're going to do that, I feel like, you know, fine, but he's got to have a new mechanic. He's got to have some kind of interesting ability, some sort of experimental, innovative mechanic that we haven't seen before, because that's really how you market a lesser, not that Janemba is not popular, but you know, comparatively speaking to like Super Gogeta or Vegito, he's a lesser popular character. So in order to market a character like that, you got to give him something different. So I was a little disappointed to see that Janemba didn't have anything like that. I don't know how you felt.
They should have, they could have done something with the sword. Because during that fight, it does, fizzle away. It crumples. They should have done something with that.
What if it was like, what if Janemba, all right, hear me out. What if Janemba had a synchro gauge, but it was an active gauge, and his active gauge gave him the sword, and it was a timed transformation? What about that?
Yeah, I could see it. Janemba plus sword as the name.
Yeah, and I mean, it would have had different art. It would have just been like a powered up version of Janemba, and then after like 30 counts or something, it would have just went away.
You just figured out a supporter, actually. Sword.
Janemba's sword, yeah. Lack of events, seemingly not even Hoi Poi. Cool, Shenron is back for Fast. No Zenkai or unique equipment in November 2025 is crazy. Also probably Blue Kaioken and hit for part 2. Yeah, I think people are just thinking about the free-to-play Jiren. Jiren makes no sense. Why is the free-to-play character Jiren for the second major celebration in a row? The part 1 free-to-play character Jiren. It's not even related at all. But if part 2 is universe reps, then obviously that would make sense. But I don't know. In terms of events, I mean, they have like that new, what is it, like the box event? I don't even remember what it's called. The one where you can like change the rarity of your box and you get rewards. Yeah, there's no Hoi Poi. There's no like Beerus, feed Beerus event, fruit harvest event, whatever it's called. I think, was it the anniversary where Hoi Poi happened, but it wasn't until like part 2? That's probably what's going to happen for this as well. But yeah, I mean, sure. I think Shenron for Fest is interesting because we've never had that before. It's always only been anniversary. So we'll see.
Dude, again, they don't do anything with the damn stamp sheet. I don't get it. Do something with the stamps. It's so easy. It doesn't even have to be anything crazy. It's just it just shows that you have that creativity. I don't get it.
I think the reason why is just because for a major celebration like this, because the motivation behind the stamp sheet is it's supposed to just get you to log in every day, is what it is. If you already have a bunch of stuff to get you to log in and incentivize you to log in every day, then I guess they feel that it's not even, like, it kind of defeats the purpose of having that, because you already have enough of incentive to log in regardless, is why I think they might not do it.
They set it up to support multiple sheets, though. That's what's weird about it. Like, they clearly thought about it. They just haven't done anything with it. If you're not going to do it in your major celebrations, then when?
Yeah, I don't know. Metal Cooler is probably still going to suck. I'm just telling you guys right now. I'm warning you. My right hand is up. I'm looking at the sky as I say this. I think Metal Cooler will suck.
What if they put him in the S tier boost?
Yeah, okay. Then you know, we might be talking, but I mean, you know what? This is a movies themed season. Maybe he's featured, I guess. That would be something, I guess. But we talked about this in your part. It's just Metal Cooler. You can't really fix him with a few changes to his numbers unless you really went super over the top. Metal Cooler is a character where either he's unbelievably ridiculously broken or he's terrible. There is no in between. And the reason why is because his design is inherently flawed. You can't have a defense type character with 3 lives because he hurts you. He hurts you. He brings the match to timer more times than not. And then because the match is going to timer, he's just sponging millions and millions and millions and millions of damage. So it hurts you more than helps you. The character's bad. Okay, they were not cooking with this character, and I don't think numbers are really the problem. It's just the way he's designed. So I don't think he'll be good. I would like to use him to see how he works, but I don't have much faith in our metal friend. Was cool to see the new units, but overall nothing else that makes it feel like this is the biggest celebration of the year for the game. Yeah, I don't know. It really is Janemba, dude. You feel that way too? Like it's just Janemba.
I don't hate Janemba. I just think people are, as the game goes on and people have been playing for much longer, they probably just find more little nitpicks and their expectations are just a little bit higher. And although Synchro Gauge is cool, I guess it's probably just a damn time type unique gauge. One less 1% sparking, the plat equip on a character that doesn't make any sense. You know what they should have done? A new free-to-play Ultra. Veku.
Yeah.
No, seriously, just they should have done something new that they haven't done in a while. And isn't a free-to-play Ultra one of those things? I don't know. I think that would have been fine.
You know my argument against that, right?
Dev time?
Well, it's just that if they're gonna spend the time and effort into making a free-to-play Ultra, they'll just make a summonable one.
I know, but sometimes you gotta show like you care, even if it's a facade. They have to do that. I think a lot of people are just kind of like.
Well, there are a lot of ways they can do that, and I think the first one that comes to mind immediately is you make this Ultra Namek Goku equip like actually insane. Make him like legitimately competitive. That would be that's like the equivalent of them giving Shallot his equip for the anniversary. Right? Shallot was like legitimately decent when he got his equip.
This equip has to be double what Shallot got out of minimum for this guy to be good. It needs to be
whatever it has to be. I think if they get this Namek Goku into a position where he's legitimately viable, that would do more good for the game than any new character, because everybody can get this guy. Every single player that plays the game for free can get this Namek Goku. So if Namek Goku, this is your first time coming back to the game since the 2nd anniversary. But guess what? You have Ultra Namek Goku, and now his equip makes him a legitimately competitive character. You have an option, right? And you can't really say that about anything else. Like you could summon for Gogeta, you don't pull him. You could summon for Janemba, you don't pull him. You just have really bad luck. Namek Goku's there. He's free. You can get him anytime you want. Event is easy. The equip is free if you grind him, right? Yeah. So this is like legitimately a really, really important thing for them to get right. So my eye is going to be on this equip. If they get this equip right, it's going to be good. Same exact thing that they did for Shallot. Yeah. All they show was Metal Cooler and Ultra Goku. Metal Cooler, huh? Glad Janemba got LF and for sure didn't expect him to be here. Yeah, I didn't either, honestly. Gogeta's LF windscreen to cinema, but just like with last Fast and Anniversary, I wish they stopped doing entire parts based around one tag / saga, because what it essentially is monthly boosted campaigns on stairs. Yeah, this is true. I think it's a little different with this one just because Janemba is also regen. He's also a powerful opponent. And then Goku and Vegeta are on 4 teams. They're on Saiyans, Sun Family, Vegeta Clan, and movies. So it does still buff a wide variety of different teams. Obviously, the focus is still movies, but it's not like it's, like a Goku and a Vegeta, right? Where it's basically every single team is overlapped. So I think there is a bit of a difference here, but I generally agree with you. I think them doing like 2 distinctly different characters would have been better. Gogeta is fine to me, and we're finally seeing the Synchro again, but I'm not crazy about the choice of Jenna. What did I tell you in your part?
Yeah, I knew. I think everyone feels the same.
I don't like it when they do duels of the same tag. Preferred Gohan, for example. Yeah, Gohan would have been a good pick. They do like a Cell Saga Gohan here instead of Janemba. But we'll just have to wait until tomorrow and hopefully play them. Yeah, I think they're both going to be very good. Gogeta and Gotenks. Fusions are back.
It just makes too much sense, man, for it to be Gohan. That's the problem.
Might be the best Fest Part 1 ever.
17 comments telling me a lot of people do not agree with that.
I'm not going to go as far as to say this. I will definitely say that this Part 1, I think I like much better than last year's Part 1. Last year's Part 1 was almost like, what are we doing here? And the main reason why is because you compare the Festival Part 1 debacle with the 6th Anniversary Part 1. It's like, what the hell happened? This year, it's kind of like, we're looking at the 7th anniversary part 1, and we're like, all right, I mean, like, you know, they can't really make it that much worse. It can't get much worse. So yeah, I do think that at least Gogeta, they nailed him. I think, yeah, he could have had a new mechanic, but I think the synchro gauge is what most people were kind of waiting for. It's been a year and a half, one of the most well-received mechanics we've ever seen, and his animations I personally think are very good. I like his LF animation. His windscreen is really, really cool. It really is just kind of Janemba. Again, I don't hate Janemba. I don't hate people who like Janemba. I just don't think necessarily Janemba is worthy of being part 1 of a major celebration. And again, if they're gonna make him part 1, then you gotta give him something interesting, and I don't think he has that fresh feeling to his kit. So that is kind of the one thing. And then also, I don't think I've mentioned that this in this video yet, but the fact that we only have 1% sparking is definitely a bit of a disappointment. And I think the main reason why is because supporters probably are eating into the development resources to get multiple 1% sparkings out. It also could have just been as simple as Fusion Reborn literally has no other character they could have picked for a 1% sparking, but they could have done something. But I don't. Yeah. The only 1% sparking. I mean, that's never happened, right? For a major celebration that's had 2 dual.
No, it hasn't.
Every time we've had a major celebration with dual LF banners, they've always had 1 each, right?
Yeah, but there is a very, very, very small chance they decided to make another EX. I know it's been a long time since we've seen one of those, and honestly, I don't even know if people care about them. But the only other Saiyan from Fusion Reborn is an EX Vegeta. I don't know. Now it's maybe they just decided they'll make another EX.
The only other character from Fusion Reborn that I think they could have actually made into a 1% sparking is Gohan, the one that one-shots Frieza.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, they use Gotenks. Pikkon doesn't even really fight in the movie. He just kind of gets one shot. Goku and Vegeta are in the Gogeta card. Janemba's there. 1% Vaku? I don't know. That's it. There's nothing else. Yeah. No one else fights in the movie. If you actually go back and rewatch Fusion Reborn, it's actually like a really boring movie up until Goku starts fighting Janemba. Right? Outside of the Goku and Janemba fight, and then when, you know, Vegeta and Goku finally fuse and fight him as Gogeta, Fusion Reborn is like nothing. Nothing happens in the entire movie. It's all filler. So yeah, there's not a lot they can use. Tame. Yeah.
You know what though? At least Aegis can feel confident for these characters' performance. It's not like one character just smokes the other one. They're both really good.
Yeah, I mean, at least initially they look like that. Disappointed in Janemba pick and making him a generic character with nothing new. No LF Senkai, no new LF unique. It feels bland besides Super Gogeta. Yeah, again, I think it just comes down to how good they make the... Dude, there's a lot riding on this Namek Goku equip. I think so too, yeah. Super cool, but also disappointed to not see a lot of innovation in the character kits besides the return of the Synchro Gauge. Also, no Zenkais. Yeah, there's nothing I could say about this other than it sucks. No Zenkais. Like, I'm with you. I'm not here like, you know, they didn't do a Zenkai, but that's okay, guys. We'll get another one soon. Like, no, I think it's I think it sucks too. Like, there's nothing I can say about that other than it's bad. Best choices for part 1 together with great supporters who have interesting abilities. The animations are peak too. Yeah, I guess we could quickly talk about supporters. I don't think we've talked about that in my part yet. So first supporter is King Yema. He is going to work specifically against movies. King Yema is the one that I really feel like we're going to have to keep an eye on. He seals an opponent for, I mean, it depends on the level he is, but I think it's like 12 to 15 counts depending on what the level he is. Mm-hmm. That's insane. That's really good. Now, it doesn't sound like it would be crazy, but the reason why a seal of, let's just say 12 counts, the reason why a seal of 12 counts is much better than a character swapping out and then having 10 counts to swap back in is because like every single unit in the game now has some kind of subcount manipulation, whether it's subcount manipulation from the character who's on the battlefield or it's subcount manipulation from the character who's on standby. There's almost never a situation where you're actually waiting the full 10 counts to be able to swap back into the character. But with the seal mechanic, you're waiting the full 12 seconds because there's no way to artificially get that sub count reduced because it's a separate mechanic. So you have 2 characters left. You have one of your characters get sealed. You're in a really bad spot because you have 1 vanish. You're going to get rushed. You're going to get overdrived. You're going to get blue carded, ultimated. It's going to be tough. So that seal, I think, is going to be pretty terrifying from King Yemma. What do you think?
I know I agree. The one thing I don't like is they reduce the amount of movie enemies you have to face as you boost up the supporter. It goes from 3 to 2. I don't know. I'm just not particularly fond of this whole supporter mechanic. I guess the premise is that, you know, it's helpful for us to deal with specific tags that are in the meta, but it's just such a big leap to go from we stop a combo, we give you more healing, to just straight up, hey, we can help you with a rising rush, or we can make sure somebody just disappears for 15 counts. That is crazy to me. What a gap, right? That's terrifying. What a big jump.
That King Yem animation looks really good. You have to admit that.
It is, yeah, it is very cool.
Dude, that King Yem animation took away our 1% sparking, man. I can't believe it.
Yeah. You know what's? I wonder how that's gonna look on my device, because there's a whole room, right? It's gonna clip. I'm just gonna see the guy in the floor now. It's gonna look funny.
And then Baba, Fortune Teller Baba, is the second supporter. Now, she does have a pretty interesting ability. I am telling you guys right now, I ain't never seen this, and probably neither are you. So I think the base effect, and this is level 99, by the way. The base effect, I think, is if your Rising Rush gets guessed, you have a 20% chance baseline to override their guess and have the rush go through anyway. And I think it actually is different than Fusing Super Vegito's ability, because Fusing Super Vegito has his rush go through, but it's a much reduced damage attack. It doesn't actually do the full damage. The way Baba works is Baba actually just straight up changes the card that you picked. So it does have the rush go through at full damage. But it's only at level 99, 20% chance. If you are fighting, I think it's 2 or more future enemies. So if your opponent is using 2 or more future characters, that 20% gets turned into 50%. So you get an extra 30% chance. So with all these conditions and your rush gets guessed, you finally have the privilege of having a coin flip to override your rush getting guessed. So there's so many different pieces that have to come together for this to actually work. And then when you finally have it activate, you got a 50-50 chance. So it's just, I really don't think this is going to be super good. In certain situations, maybe you're running like Demon King Piccolo or something, and again, your opponent has to run 2 future characters, otherwise it's a 20% chance. I don't think this was thought through. I think Baba is pretty much worthless. King Yemma is the one that I think we really need to look out for. I think King Yemma is going to be the good one.
It's going to be great for showcases, you know? It's like, oh, what's that? You want to showcase that guy? You sealed the way for a quarter of the match, buddy. Good luck.
Tani yapped so much I fell asleep and don't know what he said about kits, but no one asked for JANEMBA or OP buffs? Orange Piccolo?
I guess he means PO.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to say, the Orange Piccolo didn't get buffed. Them finally bringing back the Synchro Gauge after dropping it and then forgetting about it for almost 2 years is crazy, but I'm so glad it's back. Yeah, I think if you could just point to one thing that's like mega positive about this, everybody likes the Synchro Gauge. It is probably, I don't know, top 3 most well-received mechanic ever.
Yeah. Preplo number 1.
Yeah. Fusing Super Gogeta is cool. Wish you did something cool like how Gogeta Blue and Super Vegito had their unique mechanics, but yeah, just the typical Legends Big Celebration format. Nothing too unique from what it seems unless you really like supporters. I don't know, it just feels bland like most Legend celebrations. We'll do 2,500 raids that we don't want to do though. Yeah, I mean, there hasn't been like a real raid up in a long time. Hey guys, so unfortunately we had about 12 minutes or so more of this video recorded. and for whatever reason, I went to put the file into my editing software, and it just simply did not record. So unfortunately, we're just going to end the video here. I mean, we still had like 20-something minutes of footage. How long is this video? It's about 24 minutes, so it's pretty good still. But it was like 36 or something minutes. For whatever reason, the last like 12 minutes or so didn't record. So I'm just going to chalk it up to more PC technical problems. Like you guys are probably aware of, I do have a new PC coming. I did get a notification today that it was shipped. So hopefully by part 2 of Legends Fest, we will be on the new PC and we will not be having any more of these technical problems. But regardless, hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next one.